Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Saturn making a square, opposition, or inconjunct aspect to one's natal ascendant. Now, we're talking about transits that involve Saturn. It can be about limitations, restrictions, delays, sorrow, fear, apprehension. And these things, when you talk about Saturn basically making a adverse aspect to the natal ascendant. Now, when I say basically, what I'm saying is, I'm going to elaborate on that. Squares and opposition aspects in astrology, of course, are negative and adverse. Now, the inconjunct, though neutral, can be seen as neutral, but neutral aspects can have good and bad qualities to them. It can be an inconjunct in astrology often involves a adjustment, a transition, and those things can cause some tension and exasperation. So anyway, when you're talking basically about transit Saturn basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal ascendant, well, this may manifest in limitations, restrictions, responsibilities, delays, obstructions, sorrow, fear, apprehension. Those things may conflict with new beginnings. You might be a little bit more tentative or apprehensive in starting a new beginning. You might be more fearful in embarking on something new. And the thing is, now say if the ascendant is in Gemini as an example, maybe it's something that requires multitasking or communications fields such as data or satellite communications, or something that requires dexterity, good use of the hands, like refrigeration or auto mechanics as some examples. Now, the ascendant is also connected with the physical body. So it might be, in some cases there can be some situations, limitations or restrictions might be hampering the physical body to some degree. If the ascendant, say, is in Taurus, we could say, well, if the ascendant is in Taurus, it could be something with the throat or the neck, thyroid, or something with the esophagus, and it might even be taking a toll on the vitality. Remember that Saturn is also connected with chronic debilitations and chronic illnesses. So if there's, if you're experiencing anything chronic at this time as far as a chronic illness, it might have more of an adverse effect on the energy and vitality than it ordinarily would. The ascendant is also connected with the appearance. So again, going back to any chronic illness, or you have something debilitating, it might have more of an impact on your appearance, how you appear to others at this time. Say if the natal ascendant is in Pisces, it might be more, disheveled look, or not really worried about the dress, how you're dressing, or just appearing in general to others. You might even seem more lethargic at this time. It can be a time too where you have the ascendant is connected with one's outlook on life. And it can be that if you're dealing with something Saturn related, like something with sorrow, some loss, or there's been a delay, maybe it makes your outlook more negative. Say if the natal ascendant is in Capricorn, it might even be more negative and pessimistic than maybe it had been to some degree. It can be a situation too, and again, the ascendant is connected with the vitality and energy, and it might be where if you're dealing with some despondency, or a situation that might be depressing or causing sorrow, this can affect your energy level negatively, and might diminish or deplete the energy, the vitality. This could be a situation, say if the transit, Saturn is in Scorpio as an example, it might be some insurance or tax related matter, or even a death. It might be causing your energy level, or your vitality level to be a little more diminished and depleted than usual. And the ascendant is also connected with our defense mechanisms. It's what we can show others when we're not in a situation or scenario where we feel safe or comfortable. And the thing about this is, this could be, something too, where when you have, Saturn, is about, our basically could be negative anyway. I mean, Saturn could be negative energy, the planet that's negativity. If there's something negative going on in your life, it can be where you might wind up, expressing some defense mechanism that might be, very negative. It might be bringing out the negative qualities of your ascendant. Say if the ascendant is in Taurus, it might be bringing out, if you have some limitation or restriction going on in your life, it might be bringing out like a stubborn, obstinate quality. Aries could be very acrimonious and angry is another example, ascendant example. It can also be a time too. I mean, keep in mind, the ascendant is also connected with with a grandparent or somebody that played a prominent role in your early childhood. So it might be a time where there might be some restriction or maybe some problem you're dealing with at this time, might be conflicting with activities with one or both of these people at this time. If the transit Saturn is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it might be something home related, or some issue. It might be just some general insecurity maybe you're dealing with, or family related matter. It can be, I mean, you can also be, it could be, the zodiac sign Cancer is also about protection. It might be a time where you're having maybe some issues connected with that, or you have to deal with something where you have to be more protective, whether it's a family member or what have you. Also, too, the ascendant is connected with our, I would say, I know it's connected with first impressions. So you have to be careful at this time that there's not something, depressive or negative in your life that might be impacting your first impression you're trying to make on somebody. If you're trying to get, you're going for a job interview, as a hypothetical example, say if the ascendant is in Virgo, you might want to be very meticulous, and you're going to be, want to leave that, cerebral or intellectual first impression. It may be a little bit harder to do so if you have some, negative quality, something negative happening in your life in general at this time, or there might be some issue with a father that might be conflicting, really even in bringing the qualities, the good qualities that are naturally expressed from the ascendant. It could also be, when you look at this, I mean, the ascendant is the outer demeanor. Again, it's what we project outwardly, the energy. It can be where the energy might be a little bit more negative at this time when you have, when you have this transit, and the fact that Saturn is also connected with the fears, inhibitions, and delays. Maybe it might be a little harder bringing this energy out, especially whether it's the positive or what have you of the ascendant. At this time, for whatever reason, maybe the person might feel they're going to be judged or criticized, and you might be a little bit more held back at this time than usual in bringing those qualities out. Say if the natal ascendant is in Aquarius, it might be very unique or eccentric qualities, or even expressing some ingenuity, and it might be, it could be something where it's just harder to bring that energy out at this time, more so than usual. It might be more of a laborious effort to do so. Saturn is connected with laborious work anyway. Now, it might be too, it might be a time where you may be a little more apprehensive about new beginnings, starting new things at this time. Say, again, going back to, say, if the natal ascendant is in Aquarius, it could be something with astrology or astronomy, aeronautics, even rocket science, in some cases, computers, electronics, innovation, to name a few. It may be more of a laborious effort to do things associated, really strongly connected with the physical body. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now say if the natal ascendant is in Gemini, there may be some problems with the arms, the hands, fingers, the nerves. Might be some breathing issues. Um, and we'll say if you're trying to do something, with the hands or the really strongly connected with the hands or the arms, like carpentry or auto mechanics, it might be more problematic in this instance to do so. Now, also too, in some cases, it could be a father or an authority figure, maybe averse to your outer demeanor, the qualities you're projecting outwardly. Say, for example, if the natal ascendant is in Leo, maybe there's some flamboyant or ostentatious characteristics that you express that this person doesn't like. Maybe there's something that's seen as overly attention-seeking, or you're just being very loud or boisterous. You're bringing those qualities outwardly, and the father, or authority figure may not approve of it. And the thing is, another thing too is that sometimes, some cases, responsibilities may take a toll on your energy and vitality level. Say, for example, if transit Saturn is in Scorpio, it might be something with recycling or crisis, or even dealing with the excessive, it might be trash in some cases you might be trying to deal with, cleaning up, as some examples. Could even be doing something with insurance or taxes that's not physically strenuous, but sometimes sometimes you can feel drained, at least mentally, from doing those things. Now, also too, again, going back to chronic debilitations, illnesses, which can be connected with Saturn, may bring out some negative characteristics of the ascendant. Say if the ascendant is in Aries, there could be very abrupt or acrimonious, combative, aggressive traits that may come out as a result of maybe not being able to handle the chronic illness very well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.